guys, my name is Heather and I'm the owner of Leavenly.com. I specialize in baking sourdough with kids running around. Today we're going to talk about a very basic version of the whole sourdough process and also secrets for busy mamas to do it at home. So first we're going to talk about how to get your kids involved in baking and also how to bake around their schedules, because that's going to be important for you and to keep your stress level down, and that's the whole point. To help you guys get started, down in the description there's a link to the 10 essential tools for sourdough baking. That's a free resource on my website, Leavenly.com, that I made for you to download to get you started. Subscribe to my channel and definitely leave me a comment. I love to hear from you guys, so any comments are appreciated and questions are definitely encouraged. So baking with kids is absolutely possible. You might be thinking it's not, it's too crazy, there's too much going on at home, but it is. And I'm here to tell you that it's possible and that you can do it too. Schedule it into your existing day. You don't need to work your whole day around sourdough. You're gonna work sourdough into your day, and that's what I love about it. There's little tricks you can do, like start before your kids wake up. If they're late risers, that's great for you. My kids get up at 5:30, so I don't do that one, but that would work for you if they do sleep in, if you have older kids. Work around their nap times if they're still sleeping during the day. And also get your kids involved with it. If they're awake, bring them in the kitchen, invite them in. Inviting your kids in the kitchen is so powerful because it's instilling this sense of trust in your children that they don't normally get. They may not have ever heard it before, and it's amazing. I can distinctly remember being invited into the kitchen as a child, and it just made this stamp on my life, and it affected me even 20 years later. Now I invite my own kids in the kitchen. Help them learn how to mix. Teach them how to fold. Some of them will love to see it come out of the oven and see the difference in how it looks versus when they first put it in. And if you have a kid who's super into science, then this is perfect for them because there's a huge microbiology lesson in the starter itself. And so let's talk about the starter. So the starter is an ongoing process. You're gonna have it kind of in the back of your mind, sitting on the counter, just like feeding your pet. You don't think twice about feeding your cat, and you won't think twice eventually about feeding your starter. It's just gonna be very natural. So your starter is flour and water combined, and the microbes that come off the flour and out of the air and off of your hands when you mix it, and that's what's gonna lead to those microbes that you want to give that sour flavor, to ferment your dough and to make it authentic sourdough. You're gonna be feeding your starter daily if you're gonna be baking regularly. So you just leave it on the counter, feed it every day or every other day if you forget, not a big deal. Sourdough's very forgiving. And if you don't wanna bake that often, you can just put it in the fridge, then pull it out, give it a feed, and then you can bake with it. So it's really not that big of a deal. It's very flexible. You can even dry it. You can spread it out on a Silpat, dry it out, and then you can store it. I've heard for millennia. Not sure that I can test that myself, but I have a dried starter in my pantry and it works, and you can revive it, bring it back to life, give it several feedings, and then you can use it again in your sourdough. And if you want to make your own starter, it can take 3 to 4 weeks to make it from scratch. But you can beg, borrow, or steal some starter. People who make sourdough are so willing to share their starter with new bakers. You wouldn't believe it. This week alone, I gave out 4 little snack baggies of my starter to people, to friends, to people who watch my webinars, just who wanted to come by and grab some and just get started right away. And you can post on Nextdoor, you could post on Facebook, you could reach out to friends, to family that you know that make sourdough, and they'll give you some. And if you can't find any, just make your own. It's super simple, very hands-off. It just does take a little bit of time for those microbes to grow. And that's kind of the story of sourdough. It's very hands-off, it just needs time. So now we're gonna start talking about the actual sourdough process. So it's a 3-day process. You can make it 2, but I find with kids, it's a lot easier to do a 3-day process. It makes it sound like longer, but it's less work each day. So it's much more doable, way less stressful, and definitely more manageable. So your leaven is gonna be on day 1. You're gonna make your leaven sometime between supper time and bedtime. Doesn't really matter when. You're just gonna take some of your starter, put it in a jar, and feed it water and flour, and that's it. You're gonna put it on the counter, and when you come out the next morning, it's gonna be sometimes doubled or tripled in size. It's gonna be full of bubbles. You'll be able to see bubbles on the outside of the jar, and definitely that added volume. You're gonna take a little scoop of your leaven and put it in a glass of water, and if it floats on top, you're good to go and you can bake with it. So day 2 is mixing your dough. It's about a 3-hour process, but don't let that freak you out, because you're in the kitchen, I'd say at the most for half an hour through the whole 3 hours. So at first you're gonna go in and you're gonna take your jar of leaven that you made and you're gonna mix that with water and flour. And then you're just gonna leave it alone and it's gonna autolyse. And the autolyse period is important. It's gonna let the flour protein soak up that water and just be much more manageable and easier to work with. And it makes your life a lot easier. The top picture is my dough right after it was mixed by hand. And then down below, that's my same dough just 30 minutes later. And that's the difference that an autolyse period can make on your dough. So 30 minutes later, you're gonna add a little bit more water and some salt, give it a really good mix by hand. You're always gonna mix your dough by hand, by the way, because you're gonna get those beneficial microbes off of your fingers in your dough. If that freaks you out, baking it gets rid of all the nasties, but you're gonna want that. It helps introduce an even larger flora into your bread. And so you're always gonna hand mix. So then after you've added your salt, you put it aside and it's gonna rest for 30 minutes. And so in the next hour and a half, you're just popping into the kitchen to do a quick fold and then it rests for 30 more minutes. So then at the hour mark, you're gonna come in the kitchen and do a quick fold. And that entails grabbing under the dough, pulling it up and over itself, kind of tucking it in and then turning the bowl a quarter turn. Then grabbing the dough, pulling it up and over itself and doing that the entire circumference of the bowl 4 times. And then that's it. And you can make it into a tighter ball if you want. You can just do the 4 folds, cover it with a kitchen towel and walk away. That's it. It's like literally 1 minute in the kitchen and then you leave. Then so you're gonna do that 3 different times. And then at hour 2.5, you're gonna come in and you're gonna pre-shape your dough. So you're gonna dump it on the counter and you're gonna cut it into 3 pieces. This recipe that I do makes 3 loaves of bread. And you could also make it into 2 loaves of bread if you like the larger loaves. You quickly shape it, which basically means you grab each end of the dough and fold it over itself, and then rotate it, fold it over itself, and then that's it. It's just a quick shape just to give it some strength initially, and then you're gonna cover that with a kitchen towel and walk away. It's just sitting on your countertop for 30 minutes. Then for your final shaping at hour 3, you're gonna come in and do a final shape. And you can find lots and lots of resources on the internet, on YouTube, all kinds of stuff on how to shape sourdough. If you want to do a boule, which is a circular loaf, or if you want to do a batard, which is the more oval loaf, there's different techniques in folding for those. And once you get the shapes done, then you put them into your baskets, put them in the fridge overnight, and then you're done. So if you start this process at 6 a.m., like I do a lot of times, you're done at 9 a.m. You have the entire rest of the day to do whatever you want. So it's very freeing and also really nice to know for that whole rest of the day that, hey, I have bread in the fridge and in the morning I'm gonna bake it. It's really cool, it's very empowering, and it's exciting too. And certainly during this process, get your kids involved. So my daughter's nearly 3, and she likes to reach in and mix the leaven and the water together. As soon as I introduce the flour to that mix, it gets way too sticky and she doesn't like it. But she helps me in that way and she likes to watch me do it too. And my son, who's 21 months, has just learned that he can play in the flour, so he likes to put his hands in it too and help me out. So day 3 is baking your loaves. So the day is finally here. You're gonna come out, you're gonna preheat your oven, and you're gonna put your baking vessel in the oven to preheat as well. It's gotta be nice and hot. I preheat my oven for about 45 minutes, sometimes even an hour, and I just want to make sure that that baking vessel is very hot. So then you're going to take your dough out of the fridge and you're going to basically have it in a basket. I put a piece of parchment paper on the top and then I flip it upside down. And then I do this over the sink because there's flour falling everywhere, but I pull the basket slowly off the dough and then I just put that dough down on the cutting board, and that's what you can see there. At that point you're going to score it with your razor blade. And then you're gonna pull that parchment paper right into the baking vessel. And it's gonna bake for 15 minutes with the lid on. And then that middle picture you see is when I took the lid off after 15 minutes. So you can see how much it rose. And it's not quite brown yet because it hasn't been exposed to that direct heat, but it's been surrounded by steam, and that's what's making it kind of get that glisten, and it's giving it a nice crust already. Then so for the next 30 minutes it bakes in the oven with the lid off. And when you take it out of the oven after those 30 minutes, that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna smell it well before then. Your kids are gonna be so excited. And the hardest part is waiting an hour for it to cool, because it's gonna just have to sit there and wait. Unfortunately, if you cut into a hot loaf of sourdough, it's just a gummy mess and you gotta let it cool. But so that's the basic process of the third day, the baking process. So in short, you can absolutely do this. It's very simple and it's very easy. I do this entire recipe now just from memory, and I have baby brain and mom brain combined. It's not pretty, but I can manage to do this because it's very simple, and now it's muscle memory. So at first it might be a little bit of learning for you, but even during that learning period it's very easy, and sourdough is so forgiving. You're gonna be so surprised. I have a lot more information on my website, leavenly.com, to help guide you through this process. There's lots of resources, there's step-by-step guides, there's recipes, and also recipes for your discard. Because you're gonna learn that as you're feeding your starter, you have some starter left over that you're just supposed to throw away. And who wants to do that? So you can bake other fun things with that too. And don't forget your free 10 essential tools for sourdough guide. Down in the description below, you can find the link to that. And also comment and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm so excited for you and your sourdough baking journey. I know you're a crazy busy mom. Thank you for taking the 15 minutes to even watch this video. And congratulations on taking this first step. I'm very excited for you and I'm right here with you.